My cousin dropped a video in the family group chat mocking me. Freeloader? Please, he's just our wallet. They didn't know I saw it. I stayed quiet until the rent, the car note, and the credit cards all went unpaid the following month. I was 32 when I found out what my family really thought about me. All my life I believed family was about love, respect, and standing together. When I was young, we were very close. We spent time together on birthdays, holidays, and even on normal weekends. We ate meals together, shared stories, and laughed until our stomachs hurt. Later in life, everyone moved away for jobs, studies, or relationships, but we tried to stay close. To keep that bond alive, we made a family group chat. It was supposed to be a place where we shared pictures, news, plans, and support for each other. I believed that chat was proof that our family was still strong, even with distance between us. One afternoon during my lunch break at work, something happened that changed everything. I was sitting at my desk, eating food while looking at reports for my job. My phone buzzed with a new notification. It was a video sent by my cousin in the family group chat. At first, I did not want to watch it because I was busy, but something made me open it anyway. The video showed my cousin's living room. Several family members were there. I could see my younger brother, 2 cousins, and my uncle. They were laughing, drinking, and talking loudly. At first, it looked like a normal family gathering. But then I heard my name. My uncle was waving a beer bottle while talking about how I had helped him pay his mortgage last month. Instead of saying thank you, they all laughed loudly. My cousin said I always gave money because I wanted to buy their love. My brother added that I was foolish enough to believe they respected me for it. Everyone laughed even harder. Then came the words that cut me the deepest. My cousin looked straight at the camera, not knowing it was recording, and said they had found the perfect system. Anytime they needed money, they just called me with a sad story. He said I fell for it every single time. My uncle raised his beer and called me their personal ATM. My brother joked that they should charge me a fee for making me feel useful. The room exploded with laughter. And then my cousin said the line that burned into my mind forever. Freeloader? Please, he's just our wallet. The video ended suddenly. Moments later, my cousin typed in the chat that his phone had glitched and sent a random video by mistake. He asked everyone to ignore it, but I had already watched it 3 times. I sat frozen at my desk, staring at my screen. 12 people had seen the video before it was deleted, and not one of them said anything about it. They all pretended it was just a glitch. That was the moment I realized the truth. For years, I had been giving money to my family thinking it was out of love and support. But to them, I was not a brother, cousin, or nephew. I was only their wallet. I drove home that evening with my head spinning. For years, I had been helping my family whenever they called. My uncle's mortgage, my cousin's car repairs, my brother's credit card bills, even vacations and parties that everyone enjoyed but could not pay for. I thought I was doing it out of love. I thought they appreciated me. But now I knew the truth. They laughed behind my back and called me their wallet. I did not shout at them. I did not confront them. Instead, I stayed silent. I wanted to see what would happen if I closed my wallet and stopped playing the role they had given me. That night, I opened my laptop and went through my records. I wrote down every payment, every loan, every expense I had covered for them. Over the last 2 years, the number shocked me. More than $40,000 had gone from my pocket into theirs. Money I earned by working long hours at my job. Money I could have saved for myself. And yet they treated me like a fool. I realized that if I continued like this, they would never stop. So I made a choice. I moved most of my savings into a new bank account where they could not reach it. I left only enough money in my main account to cover my own needs. From that day on, whenever someone asked for help, I would say no. Not with anger. Not with explanations. Just a calm refusal. I knew it would not take long before the request started again. 3 days later, my uncle called. He said he had unexpected medical bills and needed $2,000. He spoke with a sad voice, acting like it was painful for him to ask. In the past, I would have sent the money right away. But this time I simply said, I am sorry. I cannot help right now. I am dealing with my own expenses. The line went silent. After a few moments, he ended the call quickly. Soon after, my cousin messaged me saying her roommate had left suddenly and she could not afford rent. She asked me to cover the gap. My brother said his car broke down again and he needed money for repairs. Each time I gave the same answer. I am sorry. I cannot help right now. Their reactions turned from shock to frustration. Within weeks, the requests became more frequent and more desperate. My uncle said his power might get cut off. My cousin said she might lose her apartment. My brother said he was choosing between food and gas. I stayed calm and kept saying no. The family group chat slowly changed. Before, it was filled with daily messages, photos, and jokes. Now it grew quiet. People talked less because they knew I was no longer their easy solution. When I did reply, I kept it short and polite, never letting them know that I had seen the video. I wanted them to think I was just going through a rough time financially. 1 month later, my uncle called again. This time his voice was full of real stress. He said he was behind on his mortgage and the bank had sent him a warning. He needed $3,000 or he might lose his house. He begged me, saying family should always help family. He even tried to remind me of childhood memories, as if that would change my answer. But I stayed firm. I said, I am sorry, I cannot do that. I wish I could. But I am also struggling. He hung up without another word. The truth was, I was not struggling at all. For the first time in years, my money was safe. My savings were growing. Instead of paying for everyone else's lifestyle, I was finally planning for my own future. And strangely, it felt peaceful. For years I had believed their smiles and their kind words, not knowing they were just performances to keep my wallet open. Now that I had closed it, I could see their true faces. 6 weeks later, the real consequences began. My cousin called me crying. This time the tears were real. Her car had been taken away because she could not keep up with payments. Without a car, she said she could not get to work, and without work she could not pay rent. She asked me for $8,000 to get her car back. She promised to pay me back slowly. She swore this would be the last time she ever needed help. Her voice was full of desperation. But even then, I said no. I told her I was sorry and suggested she ask the bank or look for other options. She became angry. She said I was abandoning my own family. She called me selfish, cold, and uncaring. Then she hung up on me. That evening, the family chat exploded with messages. People were talking about my cousin's situation. They wrote that they felt sorry for her, that they wished they could help but they were struggling too. Nobody asked me directly, but I could see the hidden pressure in their words. Some said people who had more should help those who had less. Some said family was supposed to share everything. I simply replied with a short message saying I hope things worked out. Over the next few months, everything began to fall apart for them. My uncle lost his house. My cousin lost her apartment. My brother's credit cards were maxed out and he was receiving calls from debt collectors. The group chat became cold and empty. The warmth that used to be there was gone. Without my money, their fake love could no longer survive. After that month passed, something strange happened. My cousins and relatives who had laughed at me slowly began to realize what life was like without my support. The rent reminder came first, and nobody could pay it. The landlord was angry, calling every day, threatening to kick them out. Then the car company sent a notice about the missed payment, warning that the vehicle could be taken back if they did not clear the dues. After that, the credit card bills started coming in, one after another, each one higher than before. All the things they took for granted suddenly became heavy problems on their shoulders. I did not say a word. I did not ask them how they were doing. I did not offer to help. For the first time in years, I let them feel the weight of their own choices. I stayed silent, but inside, I felt a strange mix of hurt and power. Hurt because the words they spoke in that video still echoed in my head. He's just our wallet. Power because for the first time they could see that I was not a wallet. I was a human being who had value beyond money. Days turned into weeks, and the family group chat, once so full of laughter and messages, became quiet.
No funny videos, no memes, no celebrations.
Instead, it was filled with complaints, with pleas for help, with questions about how they would survive without my support. My cousin, the one who sent the video, tried to act like nothing happened. But when the landlord finally gave them a deadline to leave, he was the first to message me directly, asking for money, begging for a loan, pretending like he had always respected me. This time, I did not reply. I let the silence answer for me, because silence was the only language they understood now. For once in my life, I was not the wallet. I was the person who finally chose peace over pleasing others. And that choice made me free.